Hey guys, this is Licious Kid from ClimaxCombo, and we are back with another Leaks of the Week. This week we are just continuing off with SAO2 Extra Booster and Idolmaster Movie Booster. Both of those are coming out on the 28th, and like I said before, Checkers and my friend Domo is ordering boxes for both those sets. So if you are looking forward to either of these sets, then you can look forward to the end of the month. And with that out of the way, I guess there's not much else to say, so I will get right to it. So first off is this damn Leafa, or this damn Sugu, as we can all see. But what pisses me off about this card is that it is green. And knowing that it's green means that there is going to be green in the new SAO2 Extra Booster. Which is retarded in my opinion, because there's 4 colors for an Extra Booster is going to be a little hard to manage the colors. But whatever. But what we can see from here is her serial number is number 5. Meaning that, as you guys should know, green does come after yellow, so there's going to be 4 or less cards for yellow. So not much yellow in the set. Honestly, what is the point of even adding yellow and green to the set? I think they should have just made it all red and blue. But whatever, that is Bushiroad's choice to make. But yeah, like I said, only going to be 4 or less cards for SAO, for yellow. And green might even only have less than that. It might be only 4 or 3 cards even. I wouldn't even be surprised because Leafa barely shows, or Leafa slash Sugu barely shows up in SAO2. Anyways, that's just me rambling, but let's go on. This Sugu 215KR, she's Nets and Sports as per usual. What she does is she's a level assist in front, which is nice. I guess green finally has a level assist. And there are a couple Sugu slash Leafa fan decks out there, so good for you guys. You guys now have a legit level assist. But what she does is she combos with Fairy Dance. I'm sure you guys many do know that this is the 2K1 from the second booster. So what she does is when you play the 2K1, you may pay cost, which is pay 2, discard 1. If you do, choose one Fantasy and Reality Leafa and Sugu from your hand and place it onto any border on your stage. Fantasy and Reality Leafa and Suguha, I'm sure you guys do know as well, is the respective level 3 that does combo with the 2K1. So in general, this card is a level assist, which is already pretty good off the bat, but she does have a climax combo to go along with it. The climax combo is okay. It's just honestly a little difficult to get off because it combos it combos with the 2K1, yes, but the change is from your hand. It's not from the waiting room like normal changes. So you're gonna have to hold onto all 3 of these cards. You're gonna have to hold onto the Leafa, or you're going to have to hold on to level 3, you're going to have to hold on to this level assist, and you're going to have to hold on to the 2K1. Not the most difficult thing to do, but it can be a little problematic and maybe a little inconsistent. But what you get is, of course, her climax phase change is a standard climax phase change, cost of pay 2, discard 1. If you do get it off, however, you get a level 3 out early, you get to heal, and you get to +1, I believe, because you do keep in mind that this is a climax phase change, and the level 3s the level 3 climax combo happens on attack. So yes, you can do both of their climax combos in the same turn. So after you change, you get to heal and then you attack with the level 3. You do pay the 1, and then you get to search out 2 cards from your deck, allowing you to +1 in the end if I do the math right, which is pretty good. And it allows you to thin out your deck. Since you search out 2 from your deck, you thin it out, making it so that you have a chance of taking less damage on the up and coming turns, which is always really good. However, like I said, the downsides of this is that, like I said, it can be a little hard to get off because you need to hold this, you need to have the level assist, you need to have the Fairy Dance, and you need to have the level 3 in your hand. Also, the timing can be a little weird because usually when you hit level 2, before the first refresh, most people refresh at like early level 2. If you're early level 2 and you have not refreshed yet, then you don't have much targets to search with the level 3 Leafa, which is, can be problematic. But in general, it's a pretty good card for those green decks. However, I don't really think this card is going to be used in the normal SAO builds, the optimal SAO builds, competitive SAO builds. I don't know what word to use. I'll say competitive SAO builds, but I don't know. Some people don't like that word. But anyways, the most popular builds being yellow-red. Usually don't have green, and honestly, with all these climax combos, like this 2K1, the 2K1 for Silica, the gates, the 1-0 wind trigger combo. With all these really good climax combos SAO, I don't think people are going to be running Leafa just for her climax combo, because the climax combo is nice, but SAO having so much good climax combos, don't think this Leafa is on par with the other climax combo. So good for the Leafa fan decks. However, in the optimal SAO builds, I don't think this card is going to do much at all, and I don't think people are going to run green just for this card. It's a nice idea though. It was nice of Bushiroad to try, but it doesn't cut it. I've been talking about that card for a while, but oh well. Anyways, let's go on. More Idolmaster. 001500R Yuhiko. She's music and T. What she does is when your character reveals a level 0 or lower during their trigger check, choose one of your characters to get plus 1k until the end of the turn. Her other effect is place this card to rest. Choose one of your music characters, gains plus 1k until the end of the turn. I think this card's alright. It's yellow, so you can use it to splash. You can splash it into your deck to increase your yellow count, which is always nice. And her effects aren't bad, because you can just place her to the front, and then every time your characters attack, if they trigger a level 0, which will happen more often than not, you can choose one of your other characters and give it plus 1k, which is pretty nice. And of course, if you're, if you don't want her to go to the front row, you can just place her in the back and keep tapping her, so that way you can keep giving 1k. And since her first effect also works in the back, so you can keep triggering level 0, so keep giving your characters 1k. And do keep in mind this effect is not once per turn, so like if your first character triggers level 0, your second character triggers level 0, you can stack both of those 2ks onto the third character, giving a 2k pump. So yeah, in general, I think this card is cool. I like the card. I think it's a nice card. So yeah, just it's definitely not mandatory. I definitely do think this is more of a player's preference card. More like yeah, it's not mandatory. It's just up to the player if they do want to run this card. But if I was running Idolmaster and I need to run more yellow in my deck, I would definitely consider this card. Yet again, I don't know every card in Idolmaster, so maybe there will be much better options, but as a standalone card, I do think this card is cool. Next up is this 1-1 Makoto, 6k R, music and sports. What she does is for every character with an assist ability you control, this card gains plus 1k power. So if you control 2 characters with assist in the back, then she will be a 1-1-8k. I think this card is really good because it's an Idolmaster, because there is a really annoying card. Let me see if I can find it. Yep, right here. I hate this card. I think this card is really good. This card right here, which also happens to be a Makoto. So this Makoto 00500, I don't know if you guys, I'm sure you guys do know this if you play against Idolmaster, but 00500 is an assist in front during your opponent's turn. All your characters gain plus 1 level, plus 500. Other effect is you can pay 2, put this to rest, search for a music character, add it to your hand. I see nearly 99% of Idolmaster builds run this Makoto because this Makoto is really good, because it has a very good pay to search ability, and the fact that it makes your character really hard to side against, and it gives them plus 1 level, and it gives them plus 500. Overall, this Makoto is a fantastic card. And since a lot of Idolmaster decks already run this really good assist, this Makoto off the bat with this assist becomes that much better, because if you're running, let's say, this Makoto in the back, this and another assist, it becomes a 1-1-8k that's level 2 on your opponent's turn. If Makoto off time didn't exist, I wouldn't really consider this card, because this card is too susceptible to level 1 Suiciders, which is very prominent in today's meta. So many series have level 1 Suiciders. But because off time Makoto exists, this makes your 1-1 Makoto impossible to level 1 suicide into, making it that much more annoying for your opponent. Like if I was playing my Nisekoi deck against this card, I would be kind of screwed because I can't suicide into it, and the 1-0 Tachibanas with the climax combo cannot reverse this card as well, because this will be a 1-1, potentially 8k at the least, and I think that's really good. So I think this card in tangent with the Makoto off time is what makes this card really good. So but I could be totally wrong, but in my opinion, I do think this card is good and worthwhile to and it's good to keep in mind. And you can't even side against this really because it's going to be a level 2 during your opponent's turn. So in general, I do think this card is nice, and I think Makoto's pretty hot too. So another reason why I like the card. Anyways, I believe this was Tuesday's leaks actually. Yep. Apparently Japan has a lot of holidays, so only this week is only gonna have 4 weeks. But anyways, let's go on. This card, 2/1 7K Death Gun common, avatar and weapon. What he does is when all your opponent's characters have the trait target, he gets plus 2k. No real surprise there. And his other effect is when he's played from hand to stage, you may pay cost, which is pay 1, clock yourself 1 damage. If you do, choose one of your opponent's level 2 or below target trait character in the front row and place it onto the owner's waiting room. So this card can essentially be a 2/1 9k, which is very good for a 1 cost level 2. And he has the optional kill something on play because you can pay 1, clock yourself, and then kill anything in the front row that's level 2 or below. Which is okay if you can kill a 2/2 with this card effect. I think it's worthwhile, but not a lot of cards nowadays runs 2/2s. But if you do have the opportunity to kill a 2/2, I think it's well worth your time. And maybe this second effect is totally situational, but this card is it's alright. Of course, it's only going to be used in Death Gun decks. I'm assuming Death Gun decks are going to have very limited options, so I'm going to assume that this is probably going to be pretty staple in those Death Gun decks. So, great for a Death Gun deck, but for the normal builds, of course, there's no point in this card. I want to see more cards that give the trait target, the target trait, because it seems to be a little difficult to have all your opponent's character have the trait ability right now, so I'm hoping for more cards that give the target trait effect, but we'll just have to see. Next up is the twins. 0/0 music twins. This one is this one is Mommy. I can't actually tell, but anyways, this one's Mommy. What she does is place 2 of your twin characters to rest. Choose one of your characters, gains plus 1 soul until the end of the turn. Not too surprising because I'm pretty sure the twin build is a pretty soul rushy build, and of course this effect is only for twin decks, since you have to place 2 of your twin characters to rest, and it gives plus 1 soul. Very fitting for the twin decks, since I do believe they are a soul rush build. So, cool card. Very fitting of the theme. Next up is Ami, 2135R, music and twins. What she does is, this ability can only be activated once per turn. When you use an act ability, choose one of your characters, gets plus 2k until the end of the turn. And its other effect is, of course, it has an act ability itself. Pay 1, choose one of your characters, it gets plus 1500 until the end of the turn. Of course, you can't spam this, do keep that in mind. So if you really want to kill something, you can pay like 4, give something 6k power, and then, murder it. But still, I don't really like this Ami because she's not a real assist because she doesn't give any power in front of her. She costs 1, and to consistently get the act ability off, you have to pay 1. Of course, I believe the idea with this card is that you use it with the Mommy in the back, because you can, during your turn, you can tap 2 twin characters, tap her, tap Ami, and then give a character plus 1 soul. Ami's effect kicks in, and you give another character plus 2k until the end of the turn. I believe that's the idea behind this, but honestly, I don't really think this is worth the 1 stock. I would rather, have a real assist in the back, or something else, to be honest. Maybe like an off-time Makoto. But of course, this is for the twin builds, so maybe this is good for the twin builds, I'm not too sure, but as a standalone card, I do not like it. So yeah, that's my opinion on that card. Next up is Thursday's leak, 2/1 Xenon. Man, them legs though. Anyways, avatar and weapon. She's an R. What she does, she's a 1k global for avatar or net character, so pretty much a 1k global for every card in the deck. And what she does is she has another standard climax phase change. So change, climax phase change, pay 2, discard. If you do, choose a final strike Xenon from your waiting room and place it onto the original border of this card. Of course, that card they're mentioning is the level 3 shown in Friday. I'll go over this card more once I see this card. Once I go over the level 3. Next up is this 1-0 Azusa 45R, Music and Love. What she does is for every love character you control, she gets plus 500 power. I'm assuming every Azusa card is a love character, so pretty much for every Azusa you control, this card gains plus 500 power. Now what this card does is during this card's battle, all players cannot play any backup abilities from their hand. This card is, I think, great for those Azusa builds because this can be a 1065 before assists, assuming you control a full field. And of course, your opponent cannot back up against this card except by event backups. But of course, this is the same for you. But Idolmaster does have a lot of event backups, so this really shouldn't be a problem for the Idolmaster player. But it can pose a problem for the opponent. But in general, even without this effect, this being a 1065 costless, I think is really good. So in general, this card is fantastic for those Azusa builds. Next up is this Takane 1045R Music and Royalty. What she does is when this card declares an attack, reveal the top card of your deck. If that card is a music character, this card gains plus 2k until the end of the turn, and it has Clock Encore. I think this is a good card as well. Has the potential to be a 6/5 attacker on offense, which will happen more likely than not. And it also has Clock Encore. So the Encore is like what makes this card good, and the fact that this card can potentially be a 1065 on attack is another thing that makes this card good. So in general, I do think this Takane is definitely playable. It's definitely a playable level 1. So a fantastic pair of 1065 attackers for Thursday. Lastly, Friday, as per usual, the cool stuff. And first off is the 3-2 Xenon. This is an R. Only an R, because this is an extra booster, do keep that in mind. And yeah, let's see. So 3-2, 10k, R, 2 soul, as per usual, avatar and weapon. What she does is when she's played from hand or state or change, you may heal 1. I didn't really think Xenon would heal just because Xenon's a gunner, but whatever. What she does is she also combos with the book here. When this card declares an attack with the book, you may pay 2, discard 1. If you do, deal 4 damage to your opponent. When the damage is cancelled, this card gains plus 3/5 until the end of your opponent's next turn. And lastly, when this card is reversed, place it into memory. Once again, the book here, wow, it's a Climax common. That's nice of them to do. I thought it would be Climax rare. Anyways, so play from hand to stage, heals. That's always good. Also, but the book combo, let's see. Is the book combo worth it? Because that's where this card's worth is truly at. The combo by itself, I think it's pretty good. It is a bit heavy because you're pretty much paying 2, discarding 2 because you have to discard a card from your hand, and you have to play the book. The book, of course, is a -1, so essentially it's pay 2, -2, and if you do, you deal 4 damage to your opponent. If that goes through, you've kind of already won the game. But if it doesn't, then she gets plus 3/5 until the end of your opponent's next turn. Of course, since you have the book, she'll be 14/5 on offense, and she'll be 13/5 on defense, which is, pretty nice. But the problem is, like I said with the Sugu I said earlier, SAO has so many good climax combos. They have the 1-0 Asuna with the wind trigger. That card is good. They have the 2k1 combo with the Silica. That combo's already really good too. And you should be running gates. So there's 3 climaxes this card has to fight against. It has to fight against the wind trigger climax combo. It has to fight against the level 3 Silica climax combo, and of course it has to fight with the gates because gates are gates and gates are still good. So is this climax combo worth running? I think so. I think this card is good. And I like Xenon as a character, so that makes me a little more biased to it. But book still does plus you, so you can run 4 books, 4 gates, 4 books, or I don't know, 2 wind triggers, 2 books, 4 gates, or 3 books, 3 gates, 2 wind triggers, or 3 wind triggers. You guys get it. You can try to balance the ratios around, and I do think blue is a worthwhile color to run now because blue does have The level 0 runner that we saw 2 weeks ago, the level 0 runner is already really good. And it has the 1-0 Xenon. It's just like the Onodera, the 1-0 4K Clock Encore Xenon. I think that card's really good too. So I think blue is a worthwhile color to run now. So I do think running this level 3 is not bad at all. And if you do get the Climax Combo off, and if this does, if the damage sticks, then you've kind of already won the game right there. However, like I said, it does have to compete with the 1-0 Wind Trigger and the 1-0 or the 3-2 Silica Climax Combo. Both of those are fantastic Climax combos. I don't think you can go wrong with your choice if you want to run this Climax Combo, the Asuna, or the Silica, or you can run a combination of the three. Who knows? But yeah, in general, I do think this card is good. And yeah, I've been talking enough and rambling enough, but that's my final judgment. I do think this card is good. Of course, it does have the changer, like I said. However, I don't think I would be running the change because by itself, it's a 1K global, which is not bad at all. However, the climax phase change, it's a bit heavy because, it's a standard climax phase change. A total of pay 3, discard 1, get the level 3 out early. Great, that's cool. However, it is very intensive, and, the level 3 climax combo herself is quite intensive as well because you have to pay 2, discard a card. That's also quite heavy as well. So honestly, I'd rather just save the stock to actually get the climax combo off at level 3 and just, save the stock in general to increase my compress and, just save it for level 3. So I wouldn't run the change. Maybe I would run one of this. Maybe. I would probably one run of this. Who knows? But I probably wouldn't be focused. I don't think you should be focusing on the change at level 2 to this level 3 because it's just too heavy. However, I do like the art on this. I wonder what the holo will be. No, I'm just kidding. But yeah, in general, the Xenon I think is good. I really like this card, but who knows what people will do with this card. Oh yeah, and of course its last effect is pretty random. When this card is reversed, place it into memory. That I think is pretty bad because if this card, like let's say you're level 3, if you have 1 or 2 of these Xenons in the back and you have a couple of these Xenons in the front, let's say your opponent reverses the level 3 Xenons. If this card was to normally go into the waiting room, you can kind of loop it, because during your own turn, you can change into the level 3 Xenon again, and then just kind of rinse and repeat. And let's say when you change into this, you heal again. Let's say this card triggers a gate, just grab the level 2 assist again, and then you can just keep recycling the 2 to 3 change. Yes, it is heavy. However, every heal at level 3 is a big deal. So I think it is well worth your time to run the 2, to loop the heal. But unfortunately, I guess Bushiroad didn't want that, so they made it so it went into memory during the end of when this card is reversed in battle, which really sucks. But of course, the argument, you can say that increases your compress because it goes into the memory, kind of like level 3 Sayaka. However, because I think this card has a change into it, I would have rather preferred this card just dying normally and going into the waiting room. Unfortunate, but still, I do think this card is good. And I would still consider running one of the changers. Because by itself, this card is okay. However, if you're winning, or you just really need a clutch heal, then you can still use the level 2 to change. However, don't focus on the change to level 3. That is not your main game plan. So that is my final verdict on this card. I'm done. I'm done with Xenon. I've been talking about that card for probably 10 minutes now. Anyways, Idolmaster, level 3. 3-2, 9K, double R, Kotori, 2 soul. Music, oh, this one doesn't have another trait. That's interesting. Anyways, if you have 5 or less cards in your deck, this card gains -1 level in your hand. It has a recollection. When you have 2 or more events in memory, this card gains +2K. Lastly, play from hand to stage, heal. A very simple level 3. However, I do think this card is pretty good. Because having 5 or less cards in your deck can be a little it's not the hardest thing to accomplish, but there are times when you cannot just get this first effect off. But still good if you can get it off at level 3 or if you can get it off at level 2, that's great. It can potentially be a 11K beat stick because having 2 or more events in memory is not very difficult for Idolmaster to accomplish, because a lot of their events go into memory because they are a somewhat recollection-based set. So having the second effect should not be very difficult at all, because this card works with any event in memory. A lot of the other Idolmaster level 3s require a specific event, however this Kotori requires any event in memory, so that is another plus for this card. And lastly, it heals as per usual. Like I said, heal is great, even though anti-heal, it does exist, healing is always still good. So in general, I think this Kotori is a good card. Will it be up to par against the level 3 Takane? Because, of course, do keep in mind, this first effect does not, you can't get it off every game. You can get it off maybe 75% of the time, but there will always just be times where you just can't control it, where you just can't get this card off early at level 2 when you have 5 or less cards in your deck. So, and of course, it does heal, which is good, but it does kill your compress, because you're paying 2 for this and you're healing, so that's 3 cards going back into your waiting room before refresh, making it making it 3 more potential damage for you to take. However, this Takane does also heal, but you can play it after the first refresh, allowing it so that you don't kill your compress before the first refresh. And like I said, this Takane is more consistent than the Kotori, but of course, the Takane does minus you in hand size when you play it at level 2. And this Kotori can be a potential 11k. So and of course, Kotori is yellow. Like I said, yellow is not the best color in Idolmaster. However, blue is a fantastic color in Idolmaster. So, will Kotori, be up to par against Takane? I don't think so, but we'll just have to see. Yeah, we'll just have to see. By itself, though, I think Kotori is a good card. Anyways, another one. 1/1 event. Uncommon. Kotori-san's in Delusion. First off, as soon as you play this card, it goes into memory. Then its other effect kicks in. Choose one of your music characters. It gains plus X power until the end of the turn, where X is the number of this card in memory times 2000. So when you first play this event back up, it'll be 2k off the bat, because this card goes into memory first, then the second effect kicks in. So it'll be 2k. So of course, if you're going to run this event back up, you should be running this in 4 to get the maximum value of this card, because at first it'll be a 2k backup, which is pretty good off the bat. It's not that good. It's okay off the bat. However, do keep in mind the second one will be 4k, the third one will be 6k, and the fourth one will be 8k. And 8k backup is pretty ridiculous. You can even stop like level 3 Akatsuki from killing like your level 1s even. So yeah, this event is pretty good. If you're running the Kotori and you don't have any other events to run that send themselves to memory, you should definitely consider this 1/1 backup. But of course, the event lineup you choose to run with the Kotori is totally up to your choice. This event backup is totally player's preference in my opinion. I don't think this card is going to be mandatory. However, I do think this is it's a good card on its own. So yeah, good backup. And lastly, for Idolmaster, 2/1/5k Music and Animal, as per usual. Hibiki, what she does is she's a level assist in front. Man, a lot of assists is shown this week. But anyways, level assist in front. And what she does is place 2 of your animal characters to rest. And if you do, choose one of your characters. It gains +1 level and +1k until the end of this turn. It's alright. I don't know, it's kind of awkward. A lot of Idolmaster's level assists, their secondary effects are usually not that good. And this Hibiki kind of follows suit. Her, of course you have to place, it's good, but the fact is you have to place 2 of your animal characters to rest. Usually you have this level assist in the back and you have this off time Makoto in the back, because off time is too good and you should keep it in the back all the time because pay 2 to plus is powerful. So, if you have Makoto in the back and you have this Hibiki in the back, her second effect is never going to go off unless you choose to tap one of your front row characters, but that's retarded. So, a level assist for red, which is very good, however, with a pretty useless secondary effect, in my opinion. However, it's good for those Hibiki fan decks, because of course, all your characters will be animals, but for the normal builds, I don't think this card is, I think it'll just be a red level assist, because the second effect is just not going to happen, in my opinion. But, yeah, that is all for this week. Only 4 cards this week, however, a lot of very interesting cards, so, yeah, still ended up being 30 minutes. But, yeah, a lot of interesting cards this week. Like I said, this Sugu, I wouldn't run it. I like this Yuiko, I like this Makoto. Death Gun, Ami, I like Mami, I think she's good. I don't like Ami, I think she sucks. Xenon, I think is cool. Asusa is good for those decks, and Takane is definitely something you can consider. Xenon, I think is a really cool card. Book is Book. Yuiko, I think is good. However, Takane is here to, you know, make it hard to choose. Event backup, great. Hibiki, red level assist, which is makes alone that in its own right makes this card playable. But yeah, that is all for this week, guys. I hope you enjoy. Like I said, like as per usual, if I am missing some obvious synergy, do let me know in the comments below. And until next time, guys.